The votes were certified for the president-elect, but 4 years ago, it was a totally different story. Hundreds of people stormed the Capitol in what was one of the nation's darkest days. Now, many of those people may have their records cleared as Donald Trump takes to the White House again. 10 on your side's Chris Horn has more for us new tonight. Chris.
Regina, we reached out to our lawmakers on Capitol Hill, a total of 8 from the House and Senate, to see how they felt about the possibility of presidential pardons. In the meantime, a local man convicted of a misdemeanor that day is hoping Donald Trump comes through for him. A Washington Post analysis found more than 1,500 people charged in connection with January 6th. Fewer than half of those, 679, were charged with felonies.
Anytime that somebody acts with violence or acts in a destructive way, they should be held accountable for that.
But Jake Hiles was charged only with 3 misdemeanors. The Virginia Beach charter boat captain pleaded guilty to 1 misdemeanor, parading, demonstrating, or picketing in the Capitol. He got 2 years of probation.
People like myself who did nothing violent, nothing destructive, I don't think that I should have been treated by the government and the media in the way that I was treated.
Hiles says he deserves a pardon from incoming President Donald Trump. Democratic Congressman Bobby Scott of Newport News disagrees. He said in a statement, many people, including President-elect Trump, have attempted to downplay, dismiss, deny, and outright lie about what happened that day. Attempts to rewrite history will fail. Representative Jennifer McClellan told our D.C. bureau that pardons would be a slap in the face to those who died or got hurt.
It's shocking. I wish I could say I was surprised, but Trump has shown that the rule of law means nothing to him. But I do think that it is disrespectful to the people who were injured and killed on that day.
And Senator Tim Kaine told us in a statement, I don't support clemency or pardons for those who participated in the January 6th insurrection. It would send a bad message that one can use violence, including attacking law enforcement, in an attempt to overturn an election and face no consequences. Back to Hiles, he says he believes the January 6th riot was set up by the government. Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States 2 weeks from today.